Light and shadow in the church. We're on vacation in France and wanted to attend a church service. Unfortunately, not every church holds a service on Sundays anymore, since not enough people show up. On average, there's a service once every 4 weeks. We sit down in the church, find peace, feel the sacred, energetic space, pray, meditate, and reflect on our surroundings. The village church is magnificently decorated. It's incredible for such a small village. Art and culture are very much alive here. The altar area is richly adorned with monuments, works of art, and the finest wood carvings reaching all the way up to the ceiling. High above, depicted relatively small, is God, the creator of all that is. As an old man with a beard and outstretched arms, his hand formed into a sign of peace. Can we imagine the Creator this way? Why male? Why old? Doesn't that exceed all imagination? That is why many religions do not depict the Creator at all. Below, the Holy Spirit is implied as a mediator between God and humanity. To the right and left of the altar stand larger-than-life bishops in their magnificent gilded robes, holding a large crozier in their hands, their hats resembling crowns. They gaze majestically out at the congregation. The congregation, in turn, prays toward the front. Somewhere in between is a small crucifix, a reminder of Jesus, almost naked, in a desperate pose. In what was for him the most terrible phase of his life. Depictions of the most important phases of his life. The Sermon on the Mount, the entry into Jerusalem, even his birth, are nowhere to be found. In the center of the altar is a large painting showing an angel flogging various people and hurling them into the abyss. It appears menacing and apocalyptic. On one side, the pulpit for the sermon stands out. Intricate wood carvings. Ornamentation as far as the eye can see, even on the doors. With a large round roof above it. Why, one wonders. This pulpit illustrates the vital role the sermon played, God's message to humanity. But can't people establish a connection to the source, to the Creator, to Jesus on their own? Absolutely. Jesus has made that possible for us. However, this requires silence. To listen within oneself. This is practiced, for example, in Thai. In the side aisle, there are 3 more large altars. Some are dedicated to Mary. This would allow for 4 services to be held simultaneously. It's incredible what a treasure lies within this church. Figures made of stone or wood are mounted on the wall. Some hold a sword in their hands. Doesn't that symbolize violence? Shouldn't we wage the battle against evil with love rather than violence? Several richly decorated confessionals catch the eye. There is an entrance on both sides, but they are acoustically and visually open. The walls of the church depict the Passion of Jesus, his mistreatment and, ultimately, his crucifixion at the hands of the very people he sought to help, which was, in essence, the most terrible time of his life. For his opponents, it was the exact opposite. Is it in keeping with Jesus' spirit for us to portray precisely this period of his life in this way and place it at the center of our focus? One church has depicted only the face of Jesus in its passion scene, with various facial expressions, masterfully done. Is the Creator or Jesus the focus here? Didn't he teach humility? The church feels like a museum. Just look at all the things you can discover there. Every church is different. Each is a work of art and an art museum. I'm moved by what people are capable of achieving together. Is that still possible today? Is it financially viable? Is it feasible? We leave the church in high spirits, delighted by the art and culture. We're in awe, and so much of it moves us. Something has been created here that continues to move people time and again. Unfortunately, due to a lack of interest, many churches are being torn down or repurposed. Isn't that also a great loss for the community, for culture? People certainly sacrificed a great deal for this monument and these works of art. But something great was also created as a result. What is people's money being used for today? Armaments and war. Death and destruction. Where have we ended up? At the back of the church are plaques honoring those who fell in World War I or World War II. So many young men. Very important for the small village. Above them, in large letters, for God and country. Weren't there other interests behind that? Even in our territorial congregation, services are held only occasionally now, with one pastor serving 2 congregations. The Free Evangelical Church next door, on the other hand, has 3 well-trained pastors who take turns. The church is relatively full, with many home groups, wonderful hymns, exceptionally good sermons, beautiful decor, occasional moments of silence, vegetarianism presented as a biblically grounded topic, social activities, excellent youth ministry, and many other innovative initiatives. Many new things are also emerging, still in their early stages, but beautiful and successful. We are, after all, in a time of transformation. We are helping to shape it ourselves. We humans determine the path. My brother-in-law has set up a support center for abuse victims. This was warmly welcomed and supported by the church. Yes, there are light and shadow in the church, just as there are in politics. There has also been, and continues to be, a great deal of abuse in clubs and Quranic schools. That doesn't excuse anything, but things are changing. Terrible things happen in families, too. But does that mean we should abolish families? Despite all the justified criticism, there's one thing we must not forget. The church has deeply shaped our society over many centuries. It was far more than a place of worship. It was a school, a hospital, a poorhouse, a cultural center, a gathering place, and often the heart of a village or town. Even today, many people find peace in churches. They step inside, sit down in a pew, and feel the special atmosphere of a space where people have prayed, hoped, and mourned for generations. Churches remind us that human beings are more than just achievements, possessions, and consumption. They invite us to pause and reflect on the meaning of life. Churches foster community. People of all generations come together, celebrate, sing, pray, and support one another. Friendships are formed, those who are lonely find connection, and families receive guidance through important life stages, from baptism and marriage to saying goodbye to a loved one. Especially in times of illness, grief, or personal crisis, pastoral caregivers often provide invaluable support. The church has also made significant contributions to education. Kindergartens, schools, universities, and adult education institutions were founded or shaped by church organizations in many places. In numerous developing countries, church organizations continue to this day to take on educational tasks that government institutions alone could hardly manage. Added to this is the church's global social engagement. Caritas, diacony, and numerous church relief organizations support people regardless of their origin or religion. They build wells, care for the sick, provide disaster relief, promote education, and help people build a life for themselves. At the same time, church institutions are among the largest operators of hospitals, retirement homes, nursing facilities, and counseling centers. Millions of people receive help and care there every day. The transfer products were initially established by JIPA, and the church was involved in that effort. Our culture, too, would be almost unimaginable without the church. Europe's great cathedrals, countless paintings, sculptures, choral works, oratorios, and hymns bear witness to a tremendous cultural heritage. Generations of artists, musicians, and artisans have created works that continue to move people from all over the world to this day. Likewise, many church communities are committed to peace, reconciliation, social justice, and the protection of creation. Many promote interfaith dialogue, such as the Community of St. Egidius, advocate for human rights, and support sustainable development projects. Countless volunteers devote their time to visiting services, youth work, neighborhood assistance, or refugee aid. This fosters a sense of community that is invaluable in an increasingly individualistic society. Of course, the church has made mistakes and continues to do so today. This must be discussed openly. But alongside these shadows, there are countless people who do good in church institutions with great dedication and often behind the scenes. They accompany the sick, comfort the grieving, educate children, care for the needy, and offer hope. Perhaps the church stands at a turning point today. Much will have to change. Yet its true mission remains the same: to connect people with one another and with God, to create spaces of silence and encounter, and to translate Jesus' message anew and credibly for our time. If it succeeds in doing so, it can continue to be an indispensable force for humanity, community, and hope in the future. We visited the church in Papua New Guinea and witnessed wonderful projects there in the areas of education, vocational training, and community. We also celebrated beautiful worship services. I worked with the community of Sant'Egidio to care for the poor, assisted migrants, and spent time with people with disabilities. I experienced great joy during this time, learned a great deal, and am deeply grateful for it. Many relationships were formed, and they have deepened. Perhaps, however, the Church's greatest strength lies in a message that has remained timeless. Every human being possesses an inalienable dignity. Love is stronger than hate. Reconciliation is possible. Hope can grow even where despair reigns. This message has sustained generations, and it can still provide guidance today.